Alright guys, I thought I would do a quick video on binding for you, hopefully help out a few of the newer guys in the forum. This is a method that I use to see which pins are binding. It's quick and easy, and there's the added benefit that it'll help you find a balance between your tension and your pick pressure. Obviously, whenever you're picking any type of lock, there's two elements in play. It's not all about the tension. Obviously that's important, but you've got your tension and you've also got your pick, specifically the actual pressure that you're putting on the pins whenever you're picking. We're not going to go into loads of detail about why pins actually bind or how they stay set or any of that stuff. The only thing to keep in mind is one pin is going to bind at a time. Whenever you apply tension on the wrench like this, there's going to be one of those pins in there which is going to bind up before the rest. Okay, and basically you just want to find that pin and you want to set it, and then as that sets, the plug will rotate a little bit and then start to bind the next pin, and so on until the lock opens. The pins do bind in a particular order, but it is random, so don't go in trying to pick it in a particular order or anything like that, because you'll be there all day. What I've got here, this is a transparent train and lock type setup that I've got. I've put it upside down so the pins are in the bottom. That's just the way that I prefer to pick. And I'm going to put the camera around to a side view and explain exactly what I'm doing. Hopefully you'll be able to see exactly what's going on and you'll be able to make sense of what I'm doing. If you actually get a lock yourself and do it with me, it might help. Before I put it into the side view, I'm just going to show you how much is too much tension and how much you should be using roughly. It really doesn't matter, because you're going to be sort of, whenever you get onto the binding pin, you're going to be changing everything anyway. But basically, this is a tiny amount of tension. That's way the fuck too much. That's about a medium, so about that amount there. So we're going to flip this around to the side view and get cracking. Alright, so what we're looking at here is you can see all the pin chambers, and you'll be able to see just parts of the driver pin sticking out the bottom there as well. What we're going to do is pop a tension wrench in here. I'm going to apply that same medium amount of tension that I showed you a minute ago. And before I do that, actually, I should just explain, if you go over the pins without any pick pressure at all, you'll see it sort of bounces up and down over the pins. So it's sort of going like this. So you want to put a little bit of downwards pick pressure, or upwards depending on the orientation of the lock, and you want to just gently sort of stroke like this. And what you're aiming to do is push the pins down a tiny amount, just a little bit, and feel them sort of go under the pick. Now I'm going to do this without any tension, literally without any tension, because it's just fucking flown out onto the floor. Excellent. So you can see there now, that's perfect. It's just, they're springing just that tiny little bit. Bear with me till I find this wrench. Oh, my floor is not the tidiest at the best of times. Ah, there it is. Okay. Apologies. So what we're going to do this time is we're going to apply some tension, and we're going to roll over the pins the same way, and you're going to notice something quite different. They're not behaving quite the same way. I can actually tell by this pin here, the feel of this pin. This one's very, very solid, so that's going to be the binding pin. So what I'm going to do is, let's just check and see. That's pin 3, I think. So I'm going to get right on the tip of that pin and push gently with the pick. Now you don't want to force the pin down with a pick under this tension. You want to just hold a gentle pick pressure on that pin and let the tension off until it starts to move. That's it. there, and just keep pushing it. Hold the tension there and push, and it should set. I think that's actually set there. The pin behind it's binding now, so we'll push that one and see what happens. Lovely, so it's set. Okay, those ones are fine. There's pin 5 at the back then. That's pin 5 set. Oh, pin 1, lovely. And pin 2 should be the last one to set then. No, 2 then 1 maybe. There we go. 2 and 1 were giving me a bit of a fight there, but that's the lock picked. So hopefully you were able to see there what was happening with the binding and whatnot. Basically under tension, whenever you come back over the pins, instead of them all just springing up and down, the binding pin is very solid. And what happens is whenever you hit that, the hook will bump up as it tries to sort of climb over it, because it can't push it down because it's solid, it's sitting exactly where it is. So that's all you're doing. You're applying tension, you're coming back, waiting until it hits that solid pin, get onto that pin, push it gently with the amount of pressure that you want to move it with, reduce the tension, it'll start to move, hold the tension there, and then it'll just go down and then click, and just hold the tension like that for feeling the rest of the binding pins. If you're having trouble feeling for binding, the first thing that I would do is test the pin at the back, because as you come off the back of the lock, that's just going to feel like the back of the lock, and the other ones are just going to feel free. So try that and see if the back pin wants to set. If it doesn't, add more tension, although with the amount of tension that I showed you before, you really won't need any more than that. Let's just see. Let's get a lock, another lock here, and bung it into the device like you see. Same thing, only real life, I suppose. This one, what have I lifted? That's a buffo, that's alright. These ones here have quite good feedback, and you should be able to hear the sets quite nicely. You won't be able to see anything this time, obviously, but you'll be able to hear it. So pop in there again, same thing, roll back over the pins. There's that one, very solid straight away. That's that set. That's that one set. 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 So there should just be one more pin. Now an interesting thing's actually happened here. I've overset a pin. Everything feels quite solid, or it's moving up and down a tiny amount without moving any further, so I know that I'm in an overset. So I'm going to let off the tension and drop a pin. And I'm going to go back in and see if setting that will open the lock. And it did. Perfect. That's another thing that I should mention. If you're not sure about which pins are set and which are binding, a set pin will have a small amount to give to it, very very tiny amount, but it won't go any further than that. Never ever try to force that, because it'll just go deep and then it'll unset other pins. If you get to a point where everything feels as if it's set and you're getting that tiny little bit of give, or everything feels solid, then you've definitely overset something. So drop a pin, set it again. If that doesn't work, drop 2 pins, and so on. Or you can just reset the lock if you've memorised the binding order, like that one. I think that was 2, 1, 5, and then 4, 3, or 3, 4, something like that. So I would have known on that one to go straight for pin 2, 1, and then 5, and then I would have known it was one of those other 2 that had overset. So hopefully that helps. Maybe you've learned something, maybe you haven't, I don't know. But if you've any questions or anything, whatever, let me know.